Well, today we have a Genie button here. Goes with the machine we're showing off today. And this is going to be a long video because I have a lot of things I need to talk about with this. But we have a screwdriver, as you can tell. The mounting's a little bit weird. Carriage looks to be replacement, and I'll get into that a bit later. 3-piece rail. And I finally put up a GX9000. I have two of these. One of them didn't really work too well. I tried to disassemble it to put it in my car, and in the process, I kind of screwed it up a little bit. So I was going to put that one up on the door at some point, but I was able to get the rail off, but the screw head, the first part of the screw, I could not get that out of the power head. It was like it was welded onto the power head or something in the motor. So I was unable to get that to be removed. So yeah, there was that issue. Another issue I ran into with this was, geez, I don't know what I'm saying. It's very late tonight. But an issue I ran into with this one is I finally got this one up, and it was acting up. Turns out the capacitor was bad. Special thanks to the Brazilian hot dog for helping me with the troubleshooting. He has a few of these, but replaced the capacitor in it, so it does run now. And it wasn't running. I put it up yesterday night. I ran the door a couple times. I actually went through with a video, and during the video it stopped working. The capacitor didn't explode or anything, but it definitely had a slow leak. This capacitor may have... No, that one's bad though. It was this one, and in the process it put a lot of corrosion all over the spade connectors, so I had to clean all those. It was definitely had a slow leak. You can see there. Didn't like blow any smoke out or anything, but kind of interesting there with that failure mode. But this is the second GX9000 I've had. This one is actually in really good condition. I didn't bother cleaning out the inside of the light cover. My aunt and uncle used to have one of these, and they had bugs and stuff inside the light cover. It's kind of nostalgic. I know it's weird, but I just kind of love that look. Yeah, the autism, I tell ya. But it appears the carriage has been replaced on this, as these do strip out. Especially if you let them run on doors that don't have any sort of springs on them. But definitely not the original release cord. I don't remember these having white ones. This barrel appears to be in pretty good shape. And something interesting, still has a tag. But on the other side, I think this was the price. $216.50. So that's how much they paid for this machine, I'm guessing. I don't know. But that's odd how that's just kind of on there. Never noticed that before. Maybe that number means something else, but very strange. I had to get a bit creative with my mounting. Lights just turned off. You can see that lovely Genie sticker. But got creative with the head mounting. Had to replace this limit switch. The original one, where did it go? Is it over here? Oh, I also took my handle off the door. Kept nicking my leg on there, so I just pulled it out. I'll show you what I did on the outside to cover it up for the time being. Eventually what I'll do is I'll just kind of cut a little bit off here from the knob, so I can just put this back on so it covers the hole. But I don't know where the limit switch is, but oh, it's right here. But this peg here broke off about halfway on the down limit. So I had to do that, and then for some reason someone cut the wire for the up limit. And there's no wire attached to the up limit. So I just stole limits. I stole some wire off a different unit. I fixed it up with a Moret. These are some sensors. These are not original to this unit. This came off my Genie Blue Max that I'll show at some other point. I'd probably do a head swap if I could, but I can't figure out how to get these off the rail, and I don't want to screw this up anymore. Like what I did with the other one, pun not intended. But yeah, these were, I believe, the first ones to use safety sensors. Well, there was also a version of this with a square case. That had it was a red case that was square with the clutch on the back, and I've seen those a lot, and these, and I don't know if they were sold at different stores or sold during different times, because I don't know if I've seen any of the ones with the square case that have the safety sensors. It's always been the ones like this with the notched case. But they had this design for a bit. When they moved into the IntelliCode stuff, they dropped the clutch, switched out with a Hall effect sensor, and I think that would be called the IS550. Those are extremely common around here. I see those everywhere. I have one of those in my shed, but they had those with the red case, but it was a darker red, and they ditched the Genie sticker, but yet at the same time there was a Pro version, and the Pro version had a black case, but somehow still had the Genie sticker on the light cover. I don't know what the reasoning behind that was. They just kind of did that. A couple of my family members had these. My aunt and uncle, they had, it was either this sort of Pro version with the, I just remembered it had the Genie branding on the light cover, but I remember that a lot growing up. And I think they replaced it around 2011 or so, and they replaced it with one of the really late Genie screw drives. It would be the one with the gray round case with the red oval Genie logo, and that weird light kit that kind of had like a two-piece, like it was plastic on the top and the bottom was kind of the lens, and it kind of had like the little cutouts in it. Can't really describe it, but they replaced it with one of those, and from my knowledge, that's still there to this day. They also have a outbuilding with a couple other openers in it. I'll talk about that at some other point, but no, and this is not the same. This is not the same uncle that has the Genie screw drive. They have the same model, but the one with the 1265 that's in the ceiling, it's not that one. They just happen to have the same opener, but yes, it's like that. But that's an old video. I have a friend of mine, he had one of these back in the day. I don't know what brand it was, but he had a 16x7 wood door. One of the springs on it was broken, and he continued to use this opener until the carriage stripped out on it. And when the carriage finally stripped out on it, they replaced, I think they replaced the door and opener, or maybe they replaced the carriage on it and then eventually replaced the door. I can't remember, but I knew at one point in time, it ended up to them deciding to replace the whole door and opener, and now they have a some sort of CHI pan door with a LiftMaster 8365 LM on there that they got, I think, back in 2019, and that's still working for them. But yeah, that's just one of them. I've seen a few of these around. I've done some service. My next door neighbor also has one of these. He has on an 8-foot door, so the door doesn't really go up all the way. At some point in time, I want to go over there and mess with it, because I think if I pull, put a little bit of angle between the end there and the wall, I can move the unit back enough to where I can get the door to make the clearance. Also needs to have their safety sensors redone and all of that stuff, because it's not done very well. He wants to replace the opener, but I think I can get it repaired. Anyway, I don't know if this one's had grease on it for any period of time, because as you can tell, it that carriage is clean, and it's also noisy. This has a lot of chatter, but we'll run it up with the Genie wall button here. Very cool. So, I just so happen to have a GT912. This is actually the one that came off of my old Pro 88 that used to be on the other door a long time ago, so that's pretty cool that I have one. Well, I still have this, but we'll run it down and up from outside. I really like these remotes. I'm surprised it actually programmed up. I was having some issues getting the switches the correct way or whatever, but we'll run it down. That looks so cool. I love these. I love these a lot. These are great openers. We'll get here kind of towards the back, and we'll run it down. When I first put it up, it sounded pretty bad, but the more I ran it, the better it's gotten, so I wonder if it was just a little bit harder. It was kind of cold. If I do get my other one of these working, I wouldn't mind having a matching set of these on both doors, but it's kind of hard to take down the Sears. They're just a little bit too cool. I don't really have much to show. It has the clutch on the back. Yeah, well, actually, we'll run it up. Get a top view. Or not. Get side view then. I'm going to turn the lights off and do some dark shots of it. I'll just pretend that it's a warm summer night in July, mid-2000s, and you're going to your grandparents' house. You're riding home in the minivan, getting ready to pull up into the garage, and parked in front of the door. She presses this remote that's on the visor. Can't go wrong with an old Genie screwdriver. There's just something about garage door openers at night. I don't know what it is. I just like running them. Of course, the Sears is in the way. Very nice. That looks so cool. I love these. These are great openers. So something I like about these is you can put these on just about any door and it'll run them just fine. Like I said earlier with that wood door that my friend had, one of the two springs was bad and this opener did almost all the lifting. So yeah, and I used to have a one of the newer IntelliCode ones, the one that's now in the shed. It used to be on here when this door did not have a spring, and I ran it into the capacitor and it blew up. And yeah, these are great machines. You can't really kill them. And we'll do an outside view. Of course, there's a train. I guess since that's going on, we'll do a sensor test, I guess. Apparently I can't get the sensors to apparently I can't seem to get the sensors to trigger. I don't want to run this too much since these are known to overheat for some reason. I've had that issue with these in the past. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and keep the breeze. And thanks to all who requested this one in the Discord server. Put another vote up probably soon. I think I might put up another one tonight. Haven't decided yet. So thank you very much for watching, and keep the breeze. And we'll run this down one last time. Can't go wrong with an old Genie screwdriver.